say hello to all of you that are here. Let me see who the participants are. Let me hit this button here. I see Adrian and Anthony Robinson and Alfred Kitchen, Arnold Grant, Batty Souder, Chris Long, Christopher Bennett, Edina Watts, Edna Watts, Edmund Gillis. How are you? Good to see you. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Give me a yes if you can hear me all right, so I can make sure I'm coming through okay. Um, so, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Feel free to shout out your city too. I like to mention the cities that you all are coming from every day, in class. So give me a guess if you can hear me. Can you guys hear me okay? Am I coming through all right? Let me know if you can hear me. If you can hear me, give me a yes. Let me see. I'm looking here in the chat. Okay, I'm not seeing yeses yet. That's concerning me a little bit. Can you all hear me okay? Let me check here. Okay. All right. Okay. So all right, finally. Okay, I'm seeing the chat is disabled. Whoa, really? Okay, thanks for telling me. Um, okay, yeah, you know what? I don't know what uh try it now. Try it now. Yeah, try it now. Try it now. Let me know if you can. Sorry, guys. I didn't know that the chat was disabled and having those problems. Okay, I never hit a button here. I never hit a button to disable the chat. See, that's why you got to do tests. This is important. I'm not an engineer, but I'm a mathematician, and one of the things I learned in mathematics is that you have to test everything. If you don't test it, even if you know that it's working, even if you know for sure that it's all set up properly, that's a big business tip for you. Anything that you want to do, any product you want to put out, any event you want to host, anything you're trying to do, always test it first, even if you know that it's going to work, because I promise you, it will be the little things that cause you the biggest headaches. And I don't know where this little thing came from, but it popped in on me today. So anyway, guys, so okay, so good. I'm glad you all can hear me and see me and everything else. So so today, as we start class, and those of you that are listening online, I go live online for the first few minutes of class, and then out of respect for the students, I shut down the live. But I want you all to hear some of this too. I would say that right now, if you give me a yes or no if you're making money on your stocks, let me know if your stocks are making money. How many of you feel good about what you're seeing this week? How many of you are feeling bad? Right now, I'm looking. The Dow is up 507 points today, which is pretty epic. That's a pretty massive jump. A lot of green in your accounts if you have Robinhood or something like that. And crypto's going up, and I see all of that. That's beautiful, and it's great. I'm super happy for you because I want you to make money. I want you to be as rich as possible. Now, here's what I want you to also remember. Today, this morning, my Instagram. My Instagram is the real Boyce Watkins. Feel free to follow me there. I mentioned this group, this really great group, the greatest female group of all time in my book, called TLC. And my cousin Tiana Watkins actually happens to be a member of that group. She doesn't, I don't know if she knows or not, but our grandfathers were brothers. Her grandfather's name was Sam. My grandfather's name was Matt, and they were brothers, and they each had a bunch of kids. And our family's kind of spread out everywhere. There's a lot of Watkinses everywhere. So Tiana Watkins is in this group TLC, and they had this great song called "Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls." In the chorus was "Don't go chasing waterfalls. Please stick to the rivers and the lakes that you used to. I know that you're gonna have it your way or nothing at all, but I think you're moving too fast." So that came to mind, and I'm gonna tell you the truth. When that song came out, I remember I thought it was deep. It was like, it's crazy. I know it sounds weird. It's just music, but it really made me actually think about life. That sometimes you chase the things that are fast and fun and fast and furious, and you don't realize you could be putting yourself into a tougher situation, right? And they were talking about relationships and all that, and and I mean that's a message I've always taken to heart, honestly. I even when just as a personal note, like I noticed when I started making a lot of money and became kind of famous, I suddenly became much more handsome than I'd ever been before. Like my jokes became funnier. When pretty women would just want to talk to me all day and all these other things. And I had a lot of interesting opportunities, but I remember thinking, like, don't go chasing waterfalls, just be thoughtful and cautious and enjoy your life. but don't ever put your foot so far on the accelerator that you might crash your car. And if you notice, just so you know that when I think about investing, it's not just financial for me. I think about investing in things that are more important than money. And if you notice, when I married my wife, who I think is the most beautiful woman I've ever met, I chose part of her appeal was that she's known me for a long time. She is the river and the lake that I'm used to. She wasn't one of the fast waterfalls that I was running into. When I became more public, if you will. So with that said, I think that's a good message for this market right now. As much as I'd like to tell you that happy days are here again and it's all good in the hood and you're going to just keep making money. It's only up from here. That would be wishful thinking. That would be wishful thinking because the stock market is not based on economic fundamentals, giving indicators to state that it is entirely healthy. The stock market is like a really sick person who is having a good day, a couple of good days, but you know that eventually the illness, the cancer, or the sickness is going to kick back in. So you have to be cautiously optimistic with this market. Give me a yes in the chat if you hear what I'm saying. Give me a yes if you understand what I know I use weird analogies sometimes. I hope that's okay. I hope that actually helps your understanding. And so with this market, what I would encourage you to consider, I'm not telling you what to do. This is not investment advice. This is just me telling you what I'm doing. Whenever I see a sunny day like this and all this money's being made and all these opportunities are popping up, I start hedging my bets. When the market is up, that is the perfect time to store your nuts for the winter. Because winter is coming. Winter is always coming. And in this case, we know that it's coming. You're not looking at a fundamentally healthy economy. You are looking at historic levels of inflation. You are looking at an economic slowdown. You're looking at a slowdown in real estate. I was in Atlanta. My wife and I got a rental property down there, and I was down there talking to a realtor in Atlanta, and she was talking about how the real estate market has slowed down just significantly in the last few months, and I believe that that's happening all over the country. You've got other indicators out there that just say that this isn't done, that the market could keep dropping quite a bit. So when you see these sunny days and you see the points going up and your stocks are making you money and all that, this is your chance to go ahead and if you want to shave some off the top, meaning sell a little bit and take your cash out, take a little bit of your cash out. Feel free to go ahead and do that. If you want to sell some call options, that's another bearish strategy. That's what they call it when you're storing your nuts for the winter or you're preparing for the downside. That would be called a bearish strategy or a hedge. A hedge is when you basically don't just focus on offense. You want to play a little bit of defense. Just like in basketball, you can't just score points. You got to try to play defense too. So here you got to, this is the perfect time. You're scoring points. You're 15 points up in the game. Now maybe this is the time to focus on working on your defense a little bit. So some defensive strategies might be selling a little bit of your high flying stocks. It might be selling some call options so you can still get a piece of that upside if the price goes up. So maybe, pick a strike price. Like I have, Snapchat is one of my stocks I sell options on. I picked their earnings report is coming out this week. So right now, Snapchat is in the middle of what I call a pregnant moment. A pregnant moment is when something's going to be born. A baby's going to be born. And they don't, they ain't no abortion, ain't no Roe versus Wade in the world of stock market pregnancy. So this baby is definitely going to be born, but you don't know if it's going to be a boy, a girl, a stillborn. You don't know what's going to happen. So in these pregnant moments, because I still want to make the money, sure, but I'm not going to necessarily feel the need to bet too much in one direction or the other. So I might sell a call option with a strike price that's reasonably high so that if the stock goes up, I'm getting a piece of the upside. But if it goes down, I've protected myself a little bit from the downside. Or maybe with the stock that's been rising, you might buy a put option. Remember, put options that might normally be expensive, they become incredibly cheap when the stock goes up. So the stock is 25. Let's say that put option at 20 is too expensive, but then it goes up to 28. Well, now you can go back and buy that 20 that put with the $20 strike for a much lower price, right? And then if the stock does start to decline and the market comes back to normal, then you're going to be in a position where that put option will go up in value and you'll have a good protection at a lower cost. So enjoy the market. Just know that the reason the market's doing well right now is because earnings have been pretty strong. They're looking at corporate earnings right now to try to figure out something that I don't know if they can really figure out. They're trying to figure it out if they're going to be in a recession. Also, it's been concluded that the Federal Reserve is not, despite what people thought last week. Last week, everybody thought the Federal Reserve was most likely going to do a 100 basis point increase in interest rates. They just said, oh, they got to do it. The inflation's insanely high. The market started overreacting to last week's inflation report. Well, since that time, good news has come out to the point where it has been leaked to the New York Times, probably leaked by the Fed, that they're not going to do a 100 basis point increase. They're going to likely do 75 points. Well, that caused a rally in the market. In the rally, all the rally was them giving you back. The market gave you back money that it took from you on that negative day when the crazy inflation report came out. So it feels like a rally, and it kind of is. I mean, if you bought the dip, then it feels like a rally. But really, for some of you that are long-term investors, you literally just lost a little, you gain a little, you lost a little, you gain a little. So don't go chasing waterfalls with this market. Be extremely careful. The dangers do lurk, in the future, and a lot of experts believe that this market is not done declining. But then the most optimistic experts, one study I saw showed that whenever the market has declined by this much in the past, the second half of the year has always been super strong, right? So nobody knows. It's like all over the place right now. And the reason it's all over the place, in my view, is because you're trying to know the unknowable. You've got us, we're the stock market experts. My PhD is in this stuff. But there's some stuff that you simply cannot know. Like you could be the best football coach in the world, but you can't necessarily know how to win every single game you ever coach for your whole entire career, right? Because you don't know what the other team's going to do. So just keep that in mind. That's what you're dealing with, and that's it. All right. So before I get to your questions, and I know you guys submitted questions this week. I'm going to answer those questions first. Then I'll answer your questions in the chat for the students. I want to remind you all of a few things going on in case you want to participate. One, if you happen to live in Atlanta, my wife is hosting kind of a speed dating social gathering kind of thing at the Legacy Center on July 22nd. So feel free to go. If you go to boyceandalicia.com or just boycewatkins.com, you can actually sign up for that if that's of interest to you, if you want to just socialize with other B1 people. Number two, the Black Wealth Builders Summit is happening in Detroit on July 29th through the 31st. The reason I keep mentioning that to you guys is because Herb Strather and Gary Shelton are hosting it, and Dr. Claude Anderson is going to participate. But the truth is, like, Gary Shelton and Herb Strather are the epitome of knowing how to make a lot of money without having a lot of money. That both of these guys have done deals worth over $1 billion. These are the people you need to listen to. I know you got your gurus on the internet, stuff like that. A lot of these gurus haven't made money. A lot of them are maybe stockbrokers and stuff like that who made a couple $100,000. These guys actually have been in the trenches for 40 years. They've made over $1 billion. They've done over $1 billion in business deals, so they know exactly what they're talking about. And they're going to have bank presidents at this event, so it's a great event if you're really serious about building your wealth. It's even worth flying into. It's going to be in Detroit, July 29th through the 31st, and you can go to boycewatkins.com if you'd like to join for that. And then the last piece is, you guys know on Thursday nights we meet for the Prime class, Prime Passive Recurring Income Machine, that class where we talk about how to generate income by selling stock options. And so some of you are in that class, and so we're going to meet Thursday night at 8:00. And so don't forget, if you log in at drboyceprime.com, you can actually leave me questions. So if you have a question that is a stock option question, just know that goes beyond the scope of the stock market class. In this class, I want to talk about equities and stocks. Options I'll allude to a little bit, but because it's a lot of us haven't been exposed to it, I'm not going to necessarily get into the details of that. So if you have a stock options question, just log in at drboyceprime.com. You can leave me questions. Also, you can get the Zoom code for the next meeting. The code changes every single week. So and a lot of people love that program. So if you haven't taken a look at it, you may want to, because I guarantee you, if you have cash sitting to the side, like if you have money in the bank that isn't earning any interest, this is a great way to get a return on your capital with minimal risk, with manageable risk levels. Almost every smart member of my family, when they found out like what I was doing with stock options, they literally were like, "Here, I've got this money that's been sitting here, this $15,000, and it's not earning any interest at all. Can you get something for it?" And I was like, "Absolutely, I can give you, I can give you 10%, 20%, or whatever." And then, so ultimately, what I would say to you is, that this, if you're talking about learning how to make money that's truly passive income, feel free to take a look. It's drboyceprime.com. Okay, guys. So let me jump into some of your questions.